Now this is a shocker from Rajkot, and in fact you have to watch these pictures to actually believe it. The BJP leader goes to a yoga camp. He joins young students in performing tricky yoga moves with not a care that he could cause serious injuries. We asked, why shouldn't Mr. Mohan Kundariya be sacked?
BJP's candidate from Rajkot, Mohan Kundariya, is no yoga trainer. Yet he stars in this crazy pole walk. Now look close. The necks and shoulders he's stomping over belong to young students. The video of Mohan Kundariya performing the yoga stunt was shot during a yoga camp held for students in Rajkot. The BJP leader was the chief guest at the yoga camp. Watch as Kundariya climbs up the human bridge formed by the young students and then coolly walks all over them. And now hear Kundariya's excuse. He was merely allowing students to demonstrate their yoga skills through his antics. Just one misstep and one of the teenagers could have ended up getting seriously injured. But the local BJP leaders and organizers present at the function can be seen happily applauding Kundariya's stunt.
मोहन भाई को आग्रह करते हुए कि भाई आप हमारे बच्चों के ऊपर से चलिए, तो बच्चे लोग को कुछ तकलीफ नहीं होगी और आप ये दाव अच्छे तरह से दिखाने के लिए मोहन भाई को ये मार्च पास करवाया।
माइनर बच्चों को ऊपर से, उसके सर के ऊपर से, उनकी पीठ के ऊपर से चले, रैंप वॉक किया। ये घटना काफी निंदनीय है। बच्चे छोटे छोटे हैं, माइनर हैं।
He did what he should never have done, something that's left the BJP extremely embarrassed. With two instructors holding on to him, he walked on the stomachs and backs of several boys and then jumped off. For him, it was a publicity stunt, but now teachers concede that there could well have been a serious injury.
Bureau Report, Headlines Today.
Right, we are joined in by Mr. Jay Narayan Vyas, spokesperson of the Bharatiya Janata Party from Ahmedabad, Deepak Amin, spokesperson of the Congress Party here in our studios. Also Mr. Bhuvan Ribu, lawyer and child rights activist, joining us in the studio. But my first question to you, Mr. Vyas. Mr. Vyas, have you seen this video?
Yes, I have seen it.
Do you think that it's okay to do what your Rajkot MP Probable has done?
Well, under normal circumstances, if you consider all the issues which, one is giving thought with a cool mind, one would not be able to justify. I would frankly say that. The issue is the circumstances under which the gentleman was sort of motivated or in an over-enthusiasm. He did something without the proper knowledge about the possible consequences and also the fact that the children were involved. To that extent, it is not correct. So I think there are two different parts, and absolutely I would say that if you consider all these three parts together, this is something which would have been avoided better.
Do you think, Mr. Vyas, my follow-up question, do you think he has hurt the sentiments of the family members of those students? And do you think that because politics is politics is all about perception, he has caused a perception problem to you and he should go? He should not contest elections.
I think let's understand very clearly. He was not doing anything which was a stunt for himself. I think this is something where he was in a function. The yoga teachers in their own enthusiasm to show that what kind of skills they are in.
No, Mr. Vyas, I'm so glad that you said this, that there was no motive. Now let me pull your attention to Mr. Pramod Mutalik, who has also given a statement and said, my intention was also to protect, Hindu culture. I stand for Hindutva. So he's also justifying his act.
We are comparing, Sanket, we are comparing apples with the oranges.
No, we are just comparing the statement. We are juxtaposing these two statements.
No, I am
both
not
think that they had not done anything wrong.
I have no business. Let me say very clearly, I have no business to make any comments on Mr. Mutalik's statement. What I am trying to say is just understand the circumstances. The gentleman was a chief guest there in the heat of the moment, while everything.
What does heat of the moment mean, Mr. Vyas?
Demonstration.
Mr. Vyas, what does heat of the moment mean?
if you are going to stop me middle of the statement, how am I to explain you?
No, Mr. Vyas.
Understand, you for a while, you think yourself to be in the middle of the happenings. There is a yoga demonstration going on.
Okay.
There are yoga teachers. They are all enthused to show that their children can perform wonders. And in that, they overdone this. I am not trying to justify it. But then, the gentleman is not totally at fault of his own. There are various things which have contributed to this error.
Mr. Vyas,
and I think it is wrong. It should not have been done, but there is no mens rea or there is no bad intention on his part. Neither he was seeking any publicity out of it.
Mr. Vyas, let me get in Mr. Bhuvan in before the political discourse actually begins with Deepak, Amin and you. Mr. Bhuvan, now tomorrow if a child were to stand up and say, I'm quite enthused and I want a stunt with a blade in my mouth and I want this chief guest to actually do it. Are we to expect that the intention is right and this person should go ahead and do it and justify himself? What sort of argument is this?
I think it's a blatantly ridiculous argument, to say the least. With all due respect to Mr. Jay Narayan, he has just mentioned a very important word, mens rea. Mr. Narayan, there are two aspects to a crime, as I'm sure you would know. The mens rea is the intention and the actus rea is the action. If the child had been injured, who would have been responsible for that? Would you be kind enough to come and explain that why should an FIR not be registered against the MP under section 23 of the Juvenile Justice Act that deals with cruelty to a child, or section 323 of the Indian Penal Code that deals with voluntarily causing hurt? This is an absolute disrespect to child rights. It is an absolute disrespect to children themselves. And he is walking on the stomachs, and you are saying that because he was the chairperson there, he did it on the heat of the moment.
What is this section that you are quoting? What is this section that you are quoting, if you would like to tell our viewers?
Section 23 of the Juvenile Justice Act deals with cruelty to a child or a juvenile. And whoever willfully assaults or causes to assault or causes physical or mental suffering to a child should be punished. It's a cognizable offence and FIR can be registered.
Now, Mr. Vyas, why shouldn't an FIR be registered against Mr. Mohan Kundariya?
Well, that so that my friend has shown his entire knowledge about the law, as if he only has the availability and access to the legal provisions. Who is the principal culprit in this case? The principal culprit is, in this case, is the yoga class, the yoga teacher who is enthused to make this demonstration.
And Mr. Kundariya is just, a curious bystander. He has done no harm. There's absolutely nothing that he has done.
No, he's not.
He is not even in the act.
I will say that
because his intention is clean.
No, I am not saying that. He will still not be. He cannot be put in the same bracket as all the sections which were being quoted about.
Now, Mr. Vyas,
the class is organized by somebody.
Allow me to say something.
Mr. Vyas, let me get in Mr. Deepak Amin here. For this debate to once again become political, let me get Mr. Amin here. Yes.
Sanket, Mr. Jay Narayan Vyas's argument is completely laughable. It is exactly the same logic that they gave when the Snoopgate issue came about.
Who prevents you laughing from
the lady has not complained, and so what is it to you? Why do you care about it? It's between the Chief Minister and the lady, so let the snooping continue. It's exactly the same logic.
No, you are making a political argument here, Mr. Amin.
No, I'm just drawing parallels what Mr. Jay Narayan Vyas
is talking about. You represent the Congress, he represents the BJP, it's convenient right now. Talk on behalf of those children. Talk on behalf of those children on the screen right now.
Absolutely, on behalf of those children, the act is completely shameful. I mean, would Mr. Jay Narayan Vyas walk on the back of an 8-year-old son of Mr. Mohan Kundariya? Would Mr. Jay Narayan Vyas allow Mr. Mohan Kundariya to walk on his 8-year-old child? Please answer that question.
Mr. Amin, you are making references which are ridiculous, absolutely out of place.
They are less ridiculous than your allegations.
I don't need your certificate.
I am surprised. Why can't you issue an unequivocal apology about this? Why are you not issuing an unequivocal apology? You are saying that it is the yoga teacher who's responsible. The yoga teacher is responsible if a child gets hurt when the member of parliament is walking on the children. I think it shows the apathy that the legislature is showing collectively.
That Mohan Kundariya has already tendered his apology.
No, he has apologized. No, for the record, Mr. Bhuvan, he has. But the point is,
to apologize?
No, Mr. Vyas, for the record, he may have apologized
unconditionally.
No, for the record, he may have apologized, but is that enough? Why an FIR has not been registered?
Apology
is it okay?
Record, and otherwise, what are you doing?
Is it okay in Rajkot for an MP probable to walk on the backs of children?
Before camera, he has apologized. Now you think you are trying to say that there are
Mr. Vyas, Mr. Vyas.
Apology for record and apology by real heart. What are we trying to discuss?
No, Mr. Vyas.
What is that second kind of apology? Can you explain to me?
Mr. Vyas, let me quickly read out the statement that Mr. Kundariya has made. He says, they.
No, he is on camera. I have heard him.
Absolutely.
You don't have to read it.
The organizers, in fact, okay, for the benefit of our viewers, to put some reference into what we are actually saying, let's quickly play out Mr. Mohan Kundariya's reaction that he gave earlier in the day, and then we'll come back to this debate. Mr. Vyas, if you heard that particular reaction, he says that they lovingly held my hand, made me walk over them to show the strength and stability of the students and their formation. How can an argument like this be accepted?
Sanket,
how can school children be above 20, first of all? I want to know this.
You and your enthused friend about the child, the definition of the juvenile law, conveniently want to forget what he has said. He has said that all these people were above 20 years.
Okay, which school admits students above 20 years?
On their own volition. On their own volition, I am translating it, that there were youth about 20 years, I was there, and on their own volition, they requested me, and I was then pressurized to walk over them. This is what he has said.
Mr. Vyas, which school in this country admits students 20 years of age?
In Gujarat, there are a lot of failures.
These are yoga classes. I don't know which school you are talking about.
Mr. Vyas, the point is that, we can go on and on talking about this. The simple point that is being made here is, if politics is all about perception, do you think that this sets out a very, very bad example on the part of the Bharatiya Janata Party? Because the argument that you are giving, that, he did not intend to hurt anyone. That argument even Muthalik is giving.
See, understand?
That argument in Karnataka, Pramod Muthalik is also giving.
I will again.
Then why sack him and not this gentleman?
Don't try to link it with Karnataka.
Why not?
Don't try to link it with Karnataka.
Why not?
Why? Definitely not. It was not, because there is no word called volition. Have a little bit knowledge of law. Here he says three parts. Number one, the people who were there were of the above age of 20 plus. Second, on their own volition they requested. Take this matter to any court of law and see what comes out of it. Unnecessary, we are making a mountain out of a mole.
So that is why you won't even, that is why you won't register an FIR, is it?
And just try to malign politically somebody.
No, so you think that this is an exercise in maligning. It's an exercise in maligning your candidate. You started off by saying that it was wrong, and now you say that this is an exercise in maligning him.
You would not have linked it.
And your defense is the statement made by your member parliament.
You would not have linked it with Muthalik if you would have heard that they were 20 years and above, and it was...
No, Mr. Vyas, have you spoken to the family members of those students? Have you heard the other side? Or just on the basis of... Just on the basis of Mr. Kundariya's statement, you have given him a clean chit.
Appear before you in the examination. Sanket, did you ask me? Next time I appear on the headlines today, I will go to every other corner and collect all these proofs.
No, it is not about probe. See, this has happened in your state.
1 hour before, and you are expecting me that I should have gone to all their family members. At least you should be fair to your guests.
No, I am being absolutely fair to you, Mr. Vyas. Unfortunately, you are not being fair to the people of Rajkot.
Sanket, you are not fair, and this is not the way to treat your guests. You are not fair. You are patently unfair, I am telling you.
No. I don't want to know, and I also don't know why you have to make that statement that I am not fair. However, that is not... that is not my biggest concern at this moment.
You are not willing to understand what is the meaning of the word volition. You are not willing to understand these 20 years plus age. You are bent upon to make your own interpretation, and you want to fit it into my mouth.
No, I am not fitting anything into my mouth. In fact, for the benefit of our viewers, I would like to play once again, full screen, those visuals from Rajkot, so that our viewers can actually decide the point that I am trying to make, Mr. Vyas.
Play the translation also.
Absolutely.
Play the translation also.
Absolutely. For the benefit of our viewers, we are playing out these visuals of your Member of Parliament probable from Rajkot participating in that exercise. You at 8:05 p.m. on this channel, Mr. Vyas, actually said that, you know, in hindsight, I feel that should not have done. And now you feel that this is an exercise in maligning. Now you feel that I am being unfair.
I am saying it for the safety point of view. I am saying it for the, you are like a lawyer trying to twist your words. I am saying safety and security point of view, better one would have avoided this enthusiasm.
Let me get Mr. Bhuvan over here.
You
Mr. Bhuvan, you wanted to make a point.
Yes.
own words. I never said this.
One child's face is very clearly visible. He is in the end. And are you willing to go on record, Mr. Vyas, and say that all these children are above 20 years of age? You started with reason. You started with logic. You started by saying that it should not have happened. And now you've gone to a place where you are saying that it was all right. Your defense is that they were 20 years old. Your defense is what your member of parliament is already talking about. That cannot be your defense. Your defense cannot be what your member of parliament is talking about. Your defense can either arise out of fact or arise out of law.
But then, relying upon the statement made by Mohan Kundariya, he has said that there were students above 20 years of age and
That is your defense. That is your entire defense. Are you willing to go on record and say that if these children are below 20 years of age, then an FIR should be registered? Are you willing to go on record and say that if these are children that are found and if the learned MP is working on children, then an FIR should be registered?
Relying upon the statement made
Are you going on record and saying that just because your member of parliament is saying that they are above 20 years of age, so they should be treated as above 20 years of age?
Whether he is my member or your member is not important. I am quoting the gentleman concerned who is under discussion.
Absolutely right.
Don't try to
Absolutely right.
try to twist
I
words.
am simply saying that if there is a person, whether he is a member of parliament or he is any outsider, I think the members of parliament should respect the children more. I think that you have more of a sort of a responsibility towards the people. You have more of a responsibility towards the weak sections of the society. You have more of the responsibility towards protection of laws. You have more of a responsibility towards keeping some sort of sanctity in society. And when you come here and when you say initially that everything is fine, this should not have happened, and then 15 minutes later you quote your own member of parliament and say that such a thing would be allowed, that is not acceptable.
If you are through,
That is not acceptable. As a child rights activist, all I am saying is that this should not have happened. Someone should take responsibility.
You are not the only virtuoso in this world.
Is there anybody who is taking responsibility? You cannot abdicate the responsibility of a member of parliament walking on children by saying that yoga teachers are responsible. Yoga teachers cannot be held responsible if a member of parliament is walking on children.
Mr. Vyas,
You are also not there. You are not the only virtuoso on this planet.
I am simply saying that those are children that can be looked at. I am simply saying that they look as if they are children and it is a matter of record that it is a school.
why shouldn't it be investigated? Mr. Vyas, Mr. Vyas,
that's none of my business.
No, Mr. Vyas, you are a representative of the Bharatiya Janata Party. He is a candidate from your party. How come it is not your business? It directly affects the reputation of your party.
You are trying to tell me that I should not rely upon his statement and I should rely upon somebody who is opposing him. What kind of logic you are putting forward?
No, the logic. Mr. Jainarayan Vyas, the logic is simple. It appears that something wrong has happened. It appears that something wrong has happened. There is visible.
Let the law take its own course.
Mr. Vyas, it appears that something wrong has happened.
Something wrong has happened. Let the law take its own course.
Where is the law that has been pressed? Where is the law? The law will be pressed into service when you lodge an FIR against him. Have you done that? If you say that here, then we'll close the subject.
All these protectors of law, what they are doing?
No, but then Gujarat.
Statement. I say there is no offense. If you feel that there is offense,
you run the government in Gujarat. You are the principal authority to uphold the
That
law.
does not
You
mean
are the
that we
principal
should go by
authority
whatever
to
is
make
being
sure
told
that
by
justice
you.
is done. Not the gentleman sitting here. It's you, Mr. Jainarayan Vyas. One last word by Deepak Amin,
Justice will be
and
done.
I will give you the last word.
Done, but then you have the courage. Register the FIR. Who prevents you doing that?
Sanket,
Yeah.
If you are so much confident about what you are making as a statement, register the FIR, let the law take its own course.
Okay. Will the Congress representative here say, do you think that this matter should actually be with the police right now?
Absolutely,
should an FIR be registered?
an FIR should be registered. The BJP should take responsibility for it, and regardless of what happens in there and what the outcome is, the BJP should sack this candidate. But I want to make a bigger point here. Registering an FIR in Gujarat, I mean, where there are 3 ministers who are indicted and continue in the cabinet, isn't going to make any difference. The BJP government in Gujarat isn't going to do anything. Secondly, Sanket, Mr. Jainarayan Vyas, you have spoken for 20 of the 25 minutes. Please allow me to finish. Thank you. The bigger point here I would like to make is, today, the BJP and the RSS is very good at politicizing religion and yoga. Yesterday, Mr. Narendra Modi went to Baba Ramdev's camp. 2 days ago, some Mr. something Baba made some comment. Mr. Asaram Bapu, everybody is quiet about it. They are very good at politicizing religion. This is the same thing. So please suspect Mr. Jainarayan Vyas' statement when he says that there is no motive. There is absolutely motive during election time.
No. Mr. Amin, I am not buying that argument. I am not buying that argument. Mr. Vyas, I am not buying that argument. The only thing that I am saying is that these are children. This is an act which no one in this country is going to justify. You yourself at 8:05 p.m. on Newsnight today, on Headlines Today, said that in hindsight you feel that this is wrong. Would you like to come back to that particular point?
There are 2 things. Let me clarify.
Quick closing comments before we end this debate.
I say that if something wrong is done, let the law take its own course. That is first thing.
That's not what he said. He said something wrong was done.
Mohan Kundariya, who is saying something else. Number 3, Mr. Dinesh Amin is speaking a blatant lie. Mr. Modi is not indicted. Let him have the courage to come out and say where he is indicted. Which court has indicted him?
3 ministers, I said, Mr. Vyas. I did not say Mr. Modi.
I think it's a larger issue
Dino Solanki, Bahubhai Bokharia.
But then again, these are political arguments, Mr.
Solanki. All 3 of them are indicted.
I think we have to look at the children first, and I think it is important for the representatives of our people. I think it is very important for them to take care of children. I think the people who go into politics should go there to serve the people and should go there to protect the people.
And you know why, Mr. Jainarayan Vyas, as we quickly wrap up this particular debate, why should Mr. Kundariya take more responsibility than anyone over there is because he is about to represent the people of this country. Thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for actually participating in this debate.